Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. I don't know if I should say sorry again for being so late. This has been our usual startup of apologizing for being late, but at this point, you guys should know that we are very consistently inconsistent. So this episode, we are trying to talk two things. First thing is about the Aston Villa game, the review of the Aston Villa game, and also try and do a preview of the Leicester game without a Leicester person in. So to talk with me today, we have got Arun back with us. Hi, Arun.
Hello.
And Deepak. Hi, Deepak.
Hello.
So start off with Aston Villa game, right? I know this is very late for us to do a review, but still there are certain things that I need to talk about this game. First thing first, like Deepak, I'll start with you regarding the game. We have been talking about like, is it a Martinelli drop or is it time to drop Shaka? Those kind of questions we've been going around everywhere. And this game, surprisingly, there were two changes. One was Trossard coming in, which was not surprising, which was kind of expected and all those things. But the surprising thing was Ben White coming in place of Tomiyasu. For me, at least, did you feel that it was a surprise, or was it like, no, Tomiyasu didn't deserve to be in the starting lineup?
The way he performed against Manchester City, yeah, I don't think so. Like Tommy guaranteed a spot, but given that Ben White also hasn't been performing for last 2-3 games, it was a tough choice. Maybe like both of them didn't deserve. So obviously it's one of the either. So yeah, I wasn't like surprised though, like with White starting, but I think he was good, almost back. No, I wouldn't say back to his normal self, but he was really good in that game. Apart from that mistake for the second goal, which was his mistake.
You will never let go of a player, even if they like one mistake in a game.
I
That is
don't
also
know.
a
I mean,
It was a
I
crucial
agree.
mistake.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like White was good, but like it still is not the same as what he did, like pre-World Cup and all that. So it's his fault for setting standards high, not ours.
But in that sense, Arun, like talking about the game in itself, because there's not much to talk about, like it's a starting lineup, right? But talking about the game in itself, first off, we were very timid. We did not play like what we usually do, which is like coming out of the blocks, like right out of the bat, trying to score goals. Yes, we did have our chances and stuff, but I felt the first half was kind of like a hangover from the Manchester City game or from the previous couple of games.
That has been the case for a while now. We have not been like the intensity with which we usually come out of the blocks is not there since we restarted. Like at least if you look at the game overall, yes, the periods of dominance that we had was really high. We were like dominating the game a lot, but the phases where we did not like have control, it was clearly obvious. It was like the intensity had gone down. We were not pressing as aggressively as we used to. We press as a team, we defend as a team, Your rest defense is very important. Our rest defense was not all that great when we were attacking. It left us vulnerable, like in two situations, individual errors. But yeah, that's where your rest defense is supposed to be like at its active best, and we were not there at that point. So overall, as a team, both in attack and in defense, I find that we do not have the same intensity, not the same aggressiveness. Like the second balls, for example, like teams are now setting up to easily be able to take the second balls off us. And that we were overcoming that with our aggressive pressing, and now that when you take that component out, we are losing out on the second balls again, meaning that we are not having the control of the game, the possession of the ball for longer times, or like crucial phases where we should be having it. More than the percentage or the time, it's the phase in which you're having it, the position in which you're having it. Us not doing this is making us lose that, I find.
But how much of that is attributed to the change in the midfield, right? Like as in like when you compare Partey to Jorginho, it's not the like to like replacement. I'm
It
not
is
saying
not.
I'm not saying Jorginho is bad or Partey is good or like vice versa or whatever. But like when we are talking about possession, especially when you're talking about possession, the zones where we have possession has changed. Earlier, our
Definitely.
possession used to be like either in the defensive end or in the final third, right? Like our attackers would have a lot of a ball, or our defenders would have a lot of ball. But now it seems to be that we are having it in the midfield. I mean, is that part of the thing?
I don't think it's part of the people, because like even when Partey was there, the games that we lost with him there, that was the same situation there as well. Like we were not able to like really impose ourselves. So it is like overall we were, the stuff that we were doing as units of two or three, that has gone down. It's becoming more like one person being high intense and the rest of the people really not like compensating for it throughout him. Like they're not maintaining the same intensity, they're not going the same way. So I do not know. Yeah, Partey's athleticism is definitely missed, but like the ways in which Partey shields the back four and recycles possession, Jorginho does something different. Like you said, he does not have the physicality, but he has the intelligence and he knows how to use space. So, and that's what he did to send the forward passes. So I wouldn't attribute it just to one person not being there at this point, given that we have a good deputy, and that showed in the last game as well. Like when we played, like I said, we did not lose control for long parts of the game at all. We lost control for little parts, and that had nothing to do with the midfield. It was more to do with like Deepak said, Ben White's mistake for the second goal, Zinchenko's mistake for the first goal. So like these were the parts where we lost it more than I would say one particular section of the field or one particular person not being there.
Okay, but if that is how it is, Deepak, right? Like the two goals that they scored, right? I mean, we scored a goal in between. We'll come back to that, but the two goals that they scored, the first goal, I'm okay with that, right? Like yes, it happens, but the second goal was criminally a defensive fault.
Yeah.
It was one of those goals, like literally if I just close my eyes or if I don't see the players names or if I don't recognize the players, I would say this is a goal that scored like when Mustafi Kolasinac, that defense is there.
Yeah, that have been happening recently, right? For the last 3-4 games, our defense hasn't been the same. We are like making a lot of mistakes. Even like most of the goals which we have considered is due to individual mistakes, which could have been easily avoided. So that is what the worrying trend is. We are making a lot more of mistakes. So we have to cut down those mistakes and probably like attack has to help the defense out, bail them out, which they did this game. 4-2, they outscored the opponents. So I don't think so. Like going forward, we would be seeing all those clean sheets which we were keeping in the first half of the season, because there might be added pressure of City chasing us, and I think probably we might have to outscore the opponents going forward.
But that's
Do you guys like that? Do you guys find that teams have now found like some ways to not just stall us, but also score against us more easily than they used to before?
it's supposed to happen, right? I mean, it is supposed to happen that it's a game of chess at the end of the day, that the managers have to find a way past it. I think this game we did find a way. That's where and not just this game. I think we have been trying to find this way for quite some time. We've been seeing like our players trying to take shots outside of the D, outside of the box more often in the last couple of games. I think after the Everton game, I think we have, and we have started doing that, like, taking shots outside, which seems to be a feature. Like like this game, 2 goals scored from outside the box, right? Like, so I think we are trying to do that. We are trying to combat that defensive deep block that teams are doing against us. But Arun, getting back to the goals, right? Like, I have a question for you. How is Saka not considered the best winger in the world right now?
It's good. I mean, like the less pressure on him, more better for us. Like I wouldn't. He's playing on a different level. Maybe like people do not find him like doing flashy tricks, but he's like the intelligence and the mentality that he has to be able to like do what he does is unbelievable. You can have all the flash, you can have all the tricks, but like football is a lot about intelligence. Football is like a lot about how
And
you
he's stepping up on the
every
crucial
single
moments.
game, every single game. Like there's no game where he doesn't step up. He's the when even when the chips are down, he's the only one who's playing. I mean, like what, if he's being away from adulation, being away from all this pressure is doing him good. Like, yeah, I don't mind like people saying that Rashford is better than him. It's like comparing like a high school kid with like a primary school kid and like fighting for the best in this position battle. So I mean, like I really don't care at this point. If they feel that he's not good enough, not good enough, that's good for me. We'll see at the end of the season. If he's helping us to the title, then I don't really care.
Deepak, are you echoing the same thoughts, or you want like Saka to be a Ballon d'Or candidate or
But
something?
right now, if you really
So,
think about, yeah, I do want him to be Ballon d'Or candidate. But if you really think about it, he's like almost like the franchise player right now.
I give like rat's ass award, that useless award.
That's the thing.
Yeah, Saka is like he's probably the best winger right now in Premier League. Probably not like, I wouldn't say best winger, at least top 3, top 5 wingers in the world right now. Saka, there is no doubt about that. You can like probably name like 2 or 3, maybe Vinicius, or like the United fans would say like Rashford. Yeah,
Rashford.
Rashford is in unreal form. We have to accept that. So yeah, I don't think so. Like, who else? That Napoli winger is there. Apart from that, obviously the
Mbappe.
Saka has to be there.
But what Saka is doing is not form, right? We are seeing him doing this for so long.
That's
Long
the
now.
thing. His numbers, if you actually see it, they're better than Vinicius numbers
Yeah.
for the season. But still, people have like that's why I said like it's the no
So
point.
he needs a bigger stage. So next season, let him perform in Champions
Yeah.
League. People would start talking about him.
But okay, about the other 2 goals though, right? Let me like it was surprising for me to know that that was Zinchenko's first ever Premier League goal. First ever Premier League goal for a guy who has won so many titles. How is that like? But it was a great goal to come out of, and the good thing was it was out of a set piece. And I was so happy because we have been not scoring in set pieces. We have not been doing good in set pieces. So that was a very happy thing. But Deepak, that other goal Jorginho scored, would
Yeah,
you
let's
be
laugh about him.
but would you have been happier if it just went in, or is this way more satisfactory for you?
It's way more satisfactory. He wasted so much time. The irony of him, the goal going up,
That's the thing
back
that
of
made it
his head,
sweeter. Yes.
it made it sweeter. Yeah. He wasted so much time. It's not just this game. If you listen, I think he has been doing this for the last 5, 6 games. He has got almost 3 or 4 yellow cards in every single game for time wasting. So this was something, it was written for him, and that would happen against us. That was like very satisfactory. And given that he went to try and score a goal, and he scored. This was like,
But it was so awesome to see Vieira celebrating even before Martinelli entered the the box.
Martinelli would have been killed if he had missed that goal.
but before that, Deepak, right? Like there was a clear-cut chance that Eddie created for Odegaard that Odegaard missed very very badly.
Ridiculous miss.
But that kind of was when I started researching something, and I think Ars blog talked about it, or Ars, I don't know, some of the Arsenal podcast talked about it, that Eddie, for all his fox in the box things that we have been talking about when we talk good things about him, it's been pointed out that he doesn't do a lot of assists. His expected assists is very, 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 very low. That seems odd, especially for a player who plays off the, of the. He's a finisher, yes, but he also, from an eye test, I always thought, oh, he links up with everyone, but that doesn't seem to be the case, does it, Deepak?
Yeah, probably, like you said, he's a fox in the box. So the things expected out of him is to score goals, which he obviously isn't doing for the last 2-3 games. But yeah, the chances he creates is mostly out of his pressing, right? He's very good at pressing. He brings the mistakes out of the opposition players. Even like the assist which he gave, for not the assist, whatever it should have been an assist, but like came out of his pressing, right?
Pressing,
That
yeah.
is what we like admire about AD. Even though he doesn't score goals, misses like chances which he could have scored couple of goals last game, but whatever he does, he tries a lot. He doesn't give up. That's the one good thing about AD and Ketia, which I like. And yeah, people will like scold him that he misses so many chances. I was pretty sure if Jesus was there, he would have missed that chance which AD had.
Yeah.
Like two strikers which we have is they complicate stuffs. They
Exactly.
they don't score easy goals. So yeah, but yeah, like you said, it might be like he might have to improve on that, but he has been improving gradually. So let him give some more time. But if we want to move to the next stage, probably he's not the striker we need. We might need to sign someone else, but I don't think so. We want to sign a striker for 100 million and ask him to sit on the bench. I think that's not happening. AD and Ketia is a proper backup for us. We are not like someone like Manchester City or any other club.
But even Manchester City doesn't have 100 million striker sitting on the reserve, right? They have wingers who are sitting on reserve, but strikers, I don't see any team.
Strikers is like a rare commodity nowadays. There is no good striker. You can like name like what 2 good strikers right now.
Balogun.
He's scoring in a league where even Lacazette is scoring goals.
Lacazette
Come
at
on.
440. Lacazette is the second highest scorer.
Yeah,
So
so
nothing
yeah.
to write about. So
Okay.
yeah,
But
we can't like blame everything on AD. Of
That's the
course,
thing.
we expect him to
Thank you
score
very
goals,
much.
which is not happening, right? We know his quality. He's not someone who's going to score like 20, 30 goals. He has filled in the position adequately. That's what I would say.
Okay. But Arun, last question about this game though. The game showed certain thing to me, which is about like Shaka. He's good. He has been good. He has been a very good player for us and all. But when I saw, Martinelli coming off the bench and doing that, scoring that, and celebrating it with name in his back and stuff like that, it showed that he had more hunger coming off the bench. Now, is it time for Shaka to get a similar treatment? Like, put Vieira in the start, let Shaka come off the bench. Is it time for that to happen?
Is it time for that? If you look at it in terms of performances and what we've been having, yes. If you do not count the other factors in, yeah, maybe it is time. But like given the fact that we are not having Party playing, which means that the physical presence that Party provides is lacking, the leadership that Party provides is lacking. Zinchenko is out of form, so he's not in great form that like we saw. So given all these factors, Xhaka is very necessary.
I mean, I'm not saying that what are the factors that is for his decline, but
no, not the factors for his decline, but the factors for him staying there are these. So if we got Party back, then at that point, we can think about having Fabio. That would be a good option for him. But I see Fabio getting more minutes in the coming games as we keep going. That would be the way to get him in. I do not know if he could. Yeah, he did play well in the Premier League games that he did play, but it would be too much at this point, to put too much pressure on him, given that we do not have the assurance of a Party or the security of Zinchenko, being able to trust Zinchenko or a White who are like auxiliary midfielders at every single point in time, which would put more pressure on the player playing there. Like, and then Odegaard is more used to it, so he's able to take that and he knows what to do. But on the left, again, we are not settled. We suddenly seem unsettled with Trossard or Martinelli, and everything seems to be failing on that side. So when everything seems to be failing with the lack of people, I don't think like taking Xhaka out right now would be the right decision.
Okay, last question for you about this game. Both of you can answer. Are we back in the title race?
When did we ever leave
the title race? When did we leave the title?
No, because the last game after we lost, people were talking that we are going to look down, and I was talking. I'm not going to say just people. I was talking about where we have to look down at Manchester United, about thinking about like us not dropping further and stuff. But now, are you thinking like we are going for the title?
We are. If Manchester United is in title race, we are in title race.
Is Manchester United in title race?
They are definitely
they
in
are,
title
yeah.
race. They are just 5 points off us. We dropped 8 points. That is our mistake.
Okay.
For all the talk which I did that we are in title race, after that we have dropped 8 points. I should have stopped there and said we are still not going to win the game. But yeah, we are definitely in title race and we will go till the end. Whatever happens, if we finish second, third, it's okay. No one expected us to be in this position. We expected top 4. If we finish third, it's fine for me. I would be disappointed for sure, but I wouldn't
No, finishing below United and all that. Nothing. I cannot even imagine that. That would be like a disaster. It would be like, I don't care if we don't win the title. It would be sad, but like finishing below United would be a failure for the season.
Okay.
Arteta out.
That's the Arun from Arsene Wenger days, Arsene Wenger SAF days talking. But okay, we have to talk about the upcoming game. We thought we would finish this discussion in 15 minutes and talk another 15 minutes about the Leicester game. So I'll start with your own, right? Like for the Leicester game, they have not been in bad form. They have not been in great form either. They lost to United, but they won against Villa the same scoreline as we did, and they won against Tottenham 4-1 or something like that. But they lost to United, which is counterproductive and everything.
They are a funny team. They have a really good attack, and their defense is so bad.
Oh my God, that guy, that David Luiz, Regent Woodface. Oh my God! What
it can turn
garbage
out to be
defender.
a tricky game. It will be a tricky game for sure. They have really good quality up front. Madison is always turns up against us, and even though he has been injured, he has still scored 9 to 10 goals this season. So which shows how of a good player he is. So this could be still a tricky game, but I think given that their defense and how we have been performing, this might be another high scoring, heart attack giving kind of game.
But starting lineup, Arun, do you see Arsenal putting? I mean, Arteta came out and said when the reporter asked about Martinelli being dropped, he said he was not being dropped, that this is a 20-year-old kid who has been performing day in and day out, and this is just a rest or something like that, he mentioned. So do you see Martinelli coming back into the starting lineup, and do you see Ben White, Tomiyasu, some change there?
Ben White would start. I think that there would be no change in the defense. Back 5 would play the same again. Midfield 2, it would be like, even if Partey is back, I don't think they are going to rush him given how Jorginho played in the last game. So he'll be on the bench. So Partey again, it would be Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard. I think Trossard will start again. I think Trossard will start again with Martinelli coming off the bench, because they would give us like a different. The thing is, Leicester is not going to sit back. It's at home. They're definitely going to go for attack, which would, again, like Deepak said, the defense is complete garbage. It would give us a lot of opportunities. Even if we are not able to score, that's not like a low block team that we are going to be playing against. So in the second half, I think we'll try to use like Martinelli's pace more than Trossard's trickery. So we'll start with Trossard's trickery, and I feel we'll go to Martinelli's pace if we're needing a goal. So I don't think Martinelli would start. I think Trossard would start again.
Is there any news on Saka, because he was limping a little bit and stuff? So do you think Saka will get a rest sometime this season?
Game, no.
This game?
No. This game, no.
Not even taking him off after like 60, 70 minutes?
Who do you
Yeah,
think
if
would
we are
come and
leading
play? Yeah,
2-3, yeah.
Nelson is
But
back.
Nelson is fit or not, I don't know whether he's fit.
that's the
Nelson
thing.
is
We don't
back.
know. Only ESR has been like pictured in training. I don't know if Nelson was pictured in training. They're saying he's back with the team, but yeah, I
Mhm.
don't think like even Nelson would be ready to start, even if he was like available. I don't think he probably would be in the bench. I don't think he would get
The
time.
only rest Saka might get in Europa games. That too, like probably if we do well in first leg and we can rest him in second leg. Other than that, I don't think so. Saka would be rested, even though he's younger than Martinelli.
Yeah,
But Deepak, we've been talking about Leicester side of things, right? Like I mean, regarding their attack and stuff. But where do you think Leicester can win this game, and where do you think Arsenal can win this game?
Arsenal has to score goals. Simple as that. We can't miss chances like we did against Aston Villa. Even though we might get a lot of chances, given that their defense is not good. So we have to take our chances. I don't know. That has to be the first thing. We can't like simply say, okay, another chance would turn up. Because we missed open goal last game, couple of good chances which we could have put the game to bed in probably early 60th minute and could have given rest to few players. So that is the first thing. We have to take the chances. I'm pretty sure we will create chances, but finishing off the chances is the main thing where we can win the game. Leicester, I think it's up to our defense. Saliba has been really poor after the World Cup break, uh, probably for 2-3 games, but he picked up. Even after the first goal, he was really good against Villa. So it might be again back to our own mistakes. Even all the teams have scored because of silly mistakes which we make. So the thing is like for Arsenal, we have to take the chances. For Leicester, they might score out of our mistakes, and we should not give any free kicks. We wouldn't know like Madison would score a 30-yard free kick for sure. So
Mhm.
that could be like one of the avenue they would try to score a goal. Other
Okay.
than that, I don't think so. Iheanacho has been playing well, but yeah, Madison would still be the key.
Hmm. I don't. Are you having any like? I mean, it's a wrong time to ask, but are you having any thoughts about like, there was a time when we talked about Brendan Rodgers having Arteta's job, even sacking Arteta and
No,
bringing
no,
Brendan Rodgers
no,
in.
no,
I
no, no.
mean, obviously about that we are up there fighting for the title and they are down there. That is a different thing, but also the squad is different, right? Like what he has to what Arteta has, squad is
Yeah,
different.
true. He did like do well with Liverpool once upon a time, but then like that was once upon a time, right? You could see like how they could not sustain what they were doing, and like it's not about just doing it for one season. When you have the resources, you need to be able to do it season after season. And Rodgers has never been that sort of a manager who's been able to do that season after season, continue to fight with the big boys. People might call David Moyes like a good manager. Yeah, he's a decent manager, but he has a ceiling, and that's why you never see him like go beyond that ceiling. Rogers is another kind of manager like that. You need like managers who can keep evolving, who can take the game to the next level. Rogers is not like that. It's his game plan has always been the same, I find.
Okay. How
Plan is
confident are
mostly underdog, punching above the weight.
That's the
And
thing.
we need like someone who can like build the squad,
okay.
which has done. Yeah. Let's see how
I,
we
I I
perform.
never encouraged these talks when they came out first time, and I never would even now.
Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers was never a part of who I wanted at Arsenal. So.
But if that is the case, Deepak, I'll throw another question at you. Instead of Brendan Rodgers, let me compare Ten Hag and Arteta.
Yeah, Ten Hag would have been good choice. He has been doing really good in Manchester United, right? So he has changed them literally within 6 months. Even though he has gotten probably uh, might even say the best signing like Casemiro or something, who has literally come in and changed their entire midfield. So we have to give him time. Let's see. But he has done a really good job. But if he wins the Carling Cup or something, whatever cup that shit is, yeah, then United fans, we can't stop them, of course. But yeah, for sure, like he has done a really good job. But like what resources United have, they will keep on spending. It wouldn't stop them for next season they will go and buy another good striker or something. So I wouldn't
He's
say like
he got a lot of support. I find like he also had like a squad that was underperforming, a squad with potential that was underperforming. It was not like you'll see it based on the number of players that he ends this season with and begins next season with. Like, you know, if the number of players going into the next season has not changed by a lot, in spite of like we know, like Deepak said, they are willing to invest. It would then show like he was inherited something good, not like what Arteta did. So number one, that makes a huge difference. Number two, like, you know, the amount of backing that he's getting is really good. He's doing an absolutely fantastic job. Like, you know, he's managed to stem the problems to an extent. But what he's doing right now is he's setting up more to prevent others from scoring rather than, like, you know, them being a force that would start playing out and set up to score. Yes, they are like he's closing out the passing lanes. They are defending in a specific way, the way in which they're doing. I think it's all on the counter. His
Is this
real would
because
come when he
as
starts
you
implementing his like philosophy of being able to play out from the back or create goals that are not dependent on the opposition, but create goals that they do themselves. That's
not
when you need the right players, technically secure players to be able to do it, players who help in, like, you know, the build up. That's where the difference would be.
as you're talking, I was thinking about like I was comparing it in my head to Arteta's first season, right? We were playing with
We
three at
had
the
like a
back.
template for the cup.
Yeah,
We
we had a
knew how we
template.
needed to win. So we had like a 3-4-2-1. It was very simple. It was playbook. And that's how we scored the goal against Chelsea. That's how we goal against City. Was the second season when he tried to actually implement what he wanted to do. That's when he saw he had a bunch of players who did not have the intelligence or the technical security or the willingness to be able to do what he wants. And that's where the problem is. Now from what I see with Ten Hag, United have a group of like young players, the ones that we had to go get. They have like a group of young players who are willing to put in the effort. Wan Bissaka went for 50 million because he was defensively super good. And now we are seeing him do things that he never did during his time with the previous managers. You know, so these like that. That's why I said like he got a squad with high potential that was underperforming, and they did not have a good manager to get the best out of him. Ragnick said they need 11 players. He's playing with like the same squad, and he's like able to get the best out of them. It comes down to the manager, right, at the end.
Yeah. So
all due
coming
to brother. If he was there, he was spoiled.
but he's tearing up the Saudi league right now, so it's United's loss. But coming back to our game, I think we are at time right now. Arun, I'll ask you for your predictions
2-1 to Arsenal.
and scorers.
Scorers, I don't know. I would love it if Eddie scores one. He really needs a goal. So I think like Eddie, I want him to score one. Well, like from their side, I think Iheanacho or Madison would score one. Yeah.
Deepak, predictions.
3-2.
3-2. Okay. Scorers.
Yeah. Scorers, yeah. For Leicester, it would be Harvey, Barnes, and Madison.
Okay.
For us, yeah, like Arun said, I would love to see Eddie score a goal, and Saka will score for sure.
Everyone keeps putting
Probably,
default as Saka, right?
yeah, he has to score. That's it. Still, we are still dependent on him, no matter what.
Okay.
So probably, yeah, a brace from Eddie and Saka.
Awesome. So there you go, guys. I mean, that's our predictions. Please do comment in your predictions, or you could also reach out to us in our social media. We are actually, why we are late is we are running out of people to talk to. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to, do this thing together. So if any of you listening to this is interested, reach out to us, and we would add you to our panel, and we would be happy to discuss with you about the games. For now, please do like, subscribe, and comment in your predictions and stuff. And thank you, guys. Thank you for joining in. Probably we'll meet after Arsenal 10 and Leicester 0. Bye.